This is the story of Max, a German Shepherd who was once a hero. As a top police canine, he was brave, loyal, and the best at his job. He and his handler, Officer Miller, were an unstoppable team, taking down criminals and keeping the streets safe. Max was celebrated a true champion with a heart of gold and a spirit of steel. But one fateful day, everything changed. During a high-stakes chase, a cornered suspect lashed out, and Max took a blow that would alter his life forever. The injury was severe. It wasn't just physical, it scarred his spirit. The once confident and steady canine became anxious and unpredictable. He would flinch at loud noises and growl at sudden movements. The department's vet tried everything, but the damage was done. With a heavy heart, the police force labeled him unfit for duty. The hero who had saved so many lives was now seen as aggressive, unreliable, and ultimately useless. Officer Miller was heartbroken but had to follow orders. Max was retired from the force. His glory days were over. With no official home to go to, Max ended up at a local shelter. The loud, chaotic environment only made his anxiety worse. He was overlooked, day after day. People saw a large, nervous German Shepherd, not the hero he once was. Eventually, his time at the shelter ran out. With nowhere else to go, Max found himself on the streets, alone and forgotten. The decorated canine became just another stray, surviving on scraps and sleeping in alleys. The world that once praised him had turned its back on him completely. He spent months as a ghost, a shadow of his former self. His sharp police training was buried under layers of fear and hunger. He learned the harsh rules of the street, avoiding people and staying hidden. The proud gleam in his eyes was replaced with a look of weary survival. He was just trying to make it to the next sunrise. He had forgotten what it felt like to be loved, to have a purpose. He had forgotten he was a hero. But deep within him, the instinct of a protector, the heart of a guardian, was not gone. It was just sleeping. One cold, quiet night, that sleeping giant awoke. As Max was scavenging for food near a quiet suburban neighborhood, he heard something that made his ears stand up. It wasn't the usual sound of late-night traffic or rustling leaves. It was a cry. A small, terrified cry coming from a nearby park. Peeking through the bushes, he saw a little girl, no older than 6, being cornered by a menacing stray dog, much larger and more aggressive than himself. The girl, Lily, had wandered out of her backyard, and now she was frozen in fear. For a moment, Max hesitated. His own fear, the ghost of his injury, whispered for him to run, to hide, to save himself. But then he looked at the little girl's face, her eyes wide with terror, and in that instant, something clicked. The years of training, the countless hours with Officer Miller, the instinct to protect the innocent, it all came rushing back. He wasn't a stray, he wasn't useless. He was Canine Officer Max. With a powerful bark that echoed his old authority, he charged forward. He didn't attack the other dog. He used his training. He placed himself squarely between the aggressor and Lily, using his body as a shield. He barked commands, his posture firm and unwavering. He was a wall of courage, a protector standing his ground. The other dog, startled by this sudden display of controlled power, backed down and ran off into the night. Max didn't give chase. He turned his attention to Lily, who was now sobbing on the ground. Gently, he nudged her with his nose, his tail giving a soft, tentative wag. The fear in her eyes was replaced with wonder. She reached out a tiny hand and stroked his head. At that moment, Lily's parents, who had been frantically searching for her, rushed into the park. They saw the huge German Shepherd next to their daughter and froze, but then they saw Lily hugging the dog, safe and sound. They realized this dog hadn't hurt her. He had saved her. News of the brave stray who saved a child spread like wildfire. When Officer Miller heard the story, he knew in his heart it had to be his old partner. He rushed to the scene, and the reunion was tearful. Max, the dog everyone gave up on, was a hero once more. This time there was no going back to the streets. Lily's family, eternally grateful, adopted him. They gave him a loving home where his past was understood and his bravery was celebrated every single day. Max finally found his true purpose, not as a police canine, but as a beloved family member and a guardian angel. He proved that a hero's heart never truly forgets how to love and protect. Thanks for watching our story. If you were touched by Max's journey, please hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible animal tales. See you next time.